Chat! Hello, 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 hello. Still pulling things up. I am slightly late. Actually, not really. What I was going to do was start stream an hour ago, and then I decided that I actually don't want to. And then in that hour that I wasn't streaming, a lightning storm started. So that's always fun. But if you, I don't know if the mic will pick up any lightning. There hasn't been any lightning in like 5 minutes, but it comes around. We'll see. Lightning in Brooklyn. The chat is starting to flow. For some reason, still don't see it. It'll come eventually. Lucas, welcome to the stream. I hate school. I feel you. Hola, John Doe. How am I? I'm doing pretty well. I am in the midst of editing episode 1 of the summer series. I might as well get that out of the way now. So episode 1 of the summer series was supposed to come out, today. It's not out, if you look at my channel. Reason for that, mainly being because I gave myself way too little of a time to make everything. I kind of thought if I came back from Berlin on the 30th and then had 2 weeks to edit, I could do it. No. But I am pretty confident that I'll be able to make the new deadline. There is a high chance that I'll be able to do August 20th. And so far the video is going along good. I've recorded basically everything, it's just editing, so hopefully you guys like it when it comes out in hopefully a week. Oh, there was lightning. That was a loud one. I don't know if stream heard that one. I actually really hope stream heard that one because that was pretty loud. Alright, anyway. And welcome to the stream. How are you doing? We alive and we thriving? I hate life. Class has just started again. Yeah, so that's the thing. In California, where I used to live, there is now school, which is kind of crazy to think about because y'all ended way earlier than us as well. Because we only ended our exams on June 26th. Y'all were out of there by the 4th, I think. And so now y'all are back. Today was your first day, actually. Wait, how was it? How was y'all's first day? I actually did not think about that. Today is y'all's first day of school. I don't start until, I'm pretty sure it's September 4th? Yeah, September 4th. We don't start till then. So I definitely have some time. But the main reason I'm starting to go back into academic streams is because I know that some of y'all are in school. So I cannot do study with me's yet. You'll have to wait till September for that. But in the meantime, we're going to do some AP related stuff. This week, next week, and then maybe the next week after that. Because the thing is, I'm taking 3 AP exams, and I want to do this for each one, that being APUSH, AP Gov, and AP Lang. But the thing is, I've only ever done the type of exam for APUSH. Like, I've never done an AP Gov type exam or an AP Lang type exam. So we'll see if I'm able to do it. That's at least why I'm starting with APUSH. It's the easiest one to do, because I already did AP World, and it's the exact same test. Boring. It was sucky, very boring. That's unfortunate. Well, no good parts at all? Nothing at all happened? That could be interesting. I was trying to maybe grasp some, what's the saying again? Like a silver lining? Yeah, the silver lining of the situation, but y'all are not giving me anything to work off of. AP Lang U2, fire. Yeah, at my school we were given the option of either taking AP Lang or taking normal English 11, and I did not enjoy English 10. I was not an avid English 10 enjoyer, so I'm not especially looking forward to that, so, yeah, so AP Lang should be fun. I heard it's a lot of work depending on your teacher. It can be a lot of work, it can be normal, so I'm just gonna pray for a teacher who gives me less work. Seeing people is cool, that's always good, that's always good. I actually ran into, like, yesterday I hung out with a lot of people that I haven't seen since school. I was actually recording for the study abroad video. So, got to knock out both some YouTube stuff and meet up with people that I haven't seen in a while. That's always a good thing. I don't know when Ultimate starts again, so you me sad. Do you guys not start immediately? I kind of thought you guys just started automatically. Because at least here, I mean, I go to Morning Disc, which is like, an Ultimate in the Park, like, pickup every day with, like, adults and high schoolers. But I'm pretty sure we start our ultimate like the second week of school. Like we get back into it pretty quick. You want to be on A team already? That's fair. That's fair. I'm gonna try out this year. We'll see if we make it. Cause I was like alternating A and B freshman year, and then I moved to a worser team, and they put me on B. They made me captain. So we'll see what happens this upcoming year. But yeah, but you are making A team, right? I don't think they're putting any juniors or seniors on B team for y'all. I'm pretty sure. At least that's what I heard. I'm not 100% on that, but I would like to think that's the case. Is there anything else? There's something else I wanted to mention. Oh, okay. So about the exam we're taking, I don't have access to AP Classroom yet. So the type of exam, like the way I did the exam for AP World this past year, I cannot do because I don't have access to that. So instead, I was looking around at like the official exams, and those like aren't interactive, and I want to be able to do it on stream. So instead, let me see if I can pull it up, because I actually have not pulled it up yet. Is it possible to pull it up? 1 second. Oh, wait, it's fading way too slowly. Wait. Google, please work with me. There we go. I can remove Alex's thing from last week's stream. Oh, and I'm not in the right thing. I'm a good streamer who knows how to stream. Alright, so this is what we're doing. I found this website called High School Test Prep, and it's like, it's free, so I'll take it. And so we have, I don't know why it's grayed out, because I have them all clicked up here. So I have multiple choice, short answer, DBQs, and LEQs. I have not done any sort of, like, AP history related, practicing since I finished the AP World exam. So it's been a while since I've done all this, but it's okay, because if I get a 2, then I can go look back at my 5 at the end of the year and be so proud of the way I came. I'm going to enjoy this low-stress environment, because I remember during the AP World stream, I was kind of freaking out the entire time, because I was like, I need to do well, because I have the test tomorrow. But here, I get to fail, and I'll say it's okay, because I haven't taken the class yet. AP Lang, Worcester team, amazing grammar. Okay. Worcester. Worcester sounds better. And something that we'll learn in AP Lang together is that language is what we make of it. So if we just choose to say that Worcester is a word, then it's a word. You know? Language is what we choose language to be. Oh, another thing. I also saw that Heimler started posting. And wouldn't you know it, he is posting... Oh, there's another lightning's about to happen. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. A little bit of Wi-Fi issues. Heimler, I think he already mentioned that I was doing APUSH this year, but it's nice to see it. So I have refrained from watching it yet. I'm still waiting, but it looks good. And I'll start watching it probably tomorrow, honestly, because I don't want to... It's Heimler content, so I don't have to wait for school, so I can enjoy my Heimler. But I didn't want to wait till after this stream happens, because I don't want to be like, oh... Okay, before I take the class, but also technically I learned a little bit, you know. But yeah, good to see Heimler's back. Last time he posted was a short when I did the AP reveal stream, the grade reveal. Okay, I really hope this Wi-Fi doesn't become an issue, because I do want to stream in a reasonable manner today. Oh, one thing I did forget to do is make a timer. I forgot we needed a timer for these streams. Shoot. Okay. Let me see if I can do something here. Let me see if I can create these timers in a timely manner. Isn't that fun? Okay. It appears I can't. So, what we're gonna do instead is just have a 3-hour timer. Because AP World streams are 3 hours and 50... Sorry, I keep saying AP World. APUSH stream... oh my god, I can't talk. That's crazy. APUSH exams are 3 minutes and 15... I can't do this if I'm not gonna be able to talk correctly. Oh my god. The APUSH exam is 3 hours and 15 minutes long. I have a 3-hour timer on my stream from earlier. I don't have time to make a whole new timer. So we're gonna rock with that. And I'll finish before. I finished the AP World stream, AP World exam, the practice one on stream in like 2.5 hours. So I should be fine on that part. Let me actually pull that up. Let me pull up the... Oh, I don't want to have these on stream. Okay. Can I pull up the timer? Will it work? Oh my goodness, it worked. And then if I go back here, and I go back here, will it re-collaborate? Oh, it will. Perfect. Okay. Alright, we know how to stream. I haven't done, like, academic stuff in so long. I haven't dealt with a timer since last school year, which is kind of icky to think about. I don't like timers, but I guess we'll do it for this stream. Alright. Enough dilly-dallying. I think we can get started. Oh, I need my study music. That's the one thing I'm missing. I haven't touched the study music in forever. Wait, that's gonna be crazy to put that back up. It's gonna feel so nostalgic. I do want to rotate out the music. I want to make new music for this upcoming school year. But I guess I'll keep the old one for now. I actually didn't think about the fact I would need to do music. Alright, so with all that out of the way, enough dilly-dallying. I think it's time we begin the exam. So with that, I'm putting my phone away. That way, there's no cheating going on here. Okay. Dropping the microphone. Alright, and with that, let's switch over to here. And let us begin. Okay, I'm also not looking at chat, by the way. Actually, I'm gonna look at chat real quick. Not looking at chat during the exam. And then I'll make that pinned. And then we can actually get started. Okay, here we go. Can y'all see? Like, there's so many ads on this page. That's the one thing I don't like. Can y'all see this properly? You can. I'm just gonna do this though. Okay, here we go. Let us begin. Oh, I forgot. It's all based on material. Okay. So I'm gonna do bad because I've not done any learning, so I don't know what. Okay. What was the primary purpose of the Treaty of Tordesillas? I've never heard of this in my life before. Hereby established the line of people from pole to pole is to be drawn as a boundary between two parties that should be 370 leagues west of Cape Verde Islands, and that this line shall be straight from the Arctic to the Antarctic seas, and lands discovered to be discovered at the west of this line. Oh, I heard about this. It's like whatever's like east of this line is Portugal and west of that line is Spain. This one, I believe. That's correct. Okay, so it does give me... Shoot. It does give me the answers, which I don't quite like. It tells me if I'm right or not, like, in the moment, but that's what we have to work with. Okay. Based on this excerpt, which of the following regions would be under control of the Spanish territory? Spanish is west, so not the east coast of Brazil, not the west coast of Africa, not the southern tip of Africa, the majority of the Americas. Yeah. There we go. The Treaty of Tordesillas can be best... Oh my god, I can't talk. Treaty of Tordesillas can be best understood in the context of which the following broader historical developments. The age of exploration and competition for overseas territories sounds right. And it is right. There we go. How did this treaty impact indigenous populations? Definitely not autonomy. It's subjugated to... pretty sure it's this one. Yep. There we go. Damn, 4 in a row correct, and I haven't taken this class yet. Alright. Based on the letter, how did John Smith describe the physical attributes of native Americans? John Smith is the capitalist economic dude, I'm pretty sure. The land is fertile and rich, highly overgrown. The savages are naturally in a well-proportioned body, agile and swift, crafty and vicious, yet some are better disposition. They adore and sacrifice to the devil. Oh, okay. That's concerning. And they have a great belief of the immortality of the soul and think that after this life they go beyond the mountains towards the setting sun, where they live eternally in joy and pleasure. So, heaven, you think the same thing. I think your majesty will not find a land in all your dominion with more mountains. Okay. agile and swift are words he used, so yeah, okay. That's just to read the question and the answer. Which of the following benefits the colonizing Virginia did... Which following benefits of colonizing Virginia did John Smith emphasize to Queen Anne? Land is fertile and rich. Oh, here. The land is fertile and rich, is what he said. Fertility and richness. Is this the same difficulty as an actual exam? Because it feels kind of easy, no? But whatever, we'll continue. Sorry, I just opened a thing I did not want to open. Whatever. Okay, did you see that on my stream? I just got like hit by lightning. How did John Smith perceive the religious beliefs of the Native Americans? That they do not follow Christians. Yes. Yeah. What was the primary recommendation to Queen Anne regarding Virginia? Will not find a landlord. To conquer it, because it has a good advantage, what he's saying. Yes, there we go. Alright, oh, the Declaration of Independence. I read this in AP World! It's AP World content I know! Which fundamental principle about the origin of government... Which fundamental principle about the origin of government's powers emphasized in this excerpt? No. Yes. Yeah. That was an AP World question. Which Enlightenment philosopher's ideas most directly related to this excerpt? Oh, I've learned about all of these, but I don't know what... This is like a very AP World type question, but... I don't know. I don't think it's Rousseau. I don't think it's Voltaire. And I'm pretty... But John Locke made the social construct, so it's this one. Yes! I remember my AP World content. The phrase, all men are created equal, in the excerpt can be seen as a... aspirational ideal not fully realized. Yes, because they meant this to mean human, but they also then only meant it as, like, white men. Which principles outlined in the excerpt provided a foundation for which later American documents? The Constitution. Yeah. The Whiskey Rebellion. I learned about this. Okay, so to be fair, I did take U.S. history in 8th grade. So, first of all, it was I started the class almost 3 years ago. And also, it was middle school, so it wasn't as in-depth as APUSH was. But I, like, vaguely remember this name, Whiskey Rebellion. It was a significant event in the early Republic primary because, yo, I think the police are going after the lightning storm now. I hope they catch them. Okay. Taxing our whiskey is taxing our labor. We move these western lands for a fresh start. Now the distant government imposes burdens we cannot bear. The tax favors the rich coastal merchants, harms us. Sounds like they don't like the tax of the whiskey. It was significant because... I don't know. It's definitely not D. And I don't think it's A. No, it's not A. What am I talking about? Western territories like California. Between these two, B and C, the thing is, they did not mention anything about, in this article, in this passage, about the violent, like, the suppression of the violent resistance. They also didn't talk about it being violent. So, it might be true, but I don't know. So I'm gonna go with this. But I don't think it wasn't an immediate repeal. But I'm gonna go with B, actually, because immediate feels like a lot. Woo! That was a lucky one. The sentiment expressed in the excerpt supports the idea that all Americans no. Coastal cities, no. Scoring, yes. And that is not the only product, so yes. Which figure from the early Republic most likely have sympathized with the sentiments expressed in this excerpt? I don't know enough about these people, and I have not watched Hamilton yet. Another thing I do want to do before school starts is watch Hamilton, like sit down on Disney Plus and watch Hamilton. I could go to Broadway, but I feel like it's way too much. I don't think I even have time to buy a ticket and watch it before September 4th at this point. So I'm going to watch it online, but if I watch Hamilton, I would probably know the answer to this. I kind of want to put Hamilton just because... Well, Ben Franklin also... So these two are presidents. So I also don't think... Like, John Adams became president 2 years later and Thomas Jefferson 6 years later. So I don't know if that means they're more likely to be against it. Or sorry, like, against the current government and with these people. Hamilton is calling to me. Oh, it was a president. Yikes. Okay, first one incorrect. Let's keep it moving. The imposition of the whiskey tax was primarily intended to... I have no clue what it was for. Discourage alcohol consumption, I would assume. What? Really? Man, I went from 13 in a row to 2 wrong. Help the federal government pay off debts in the Revolutionary War. Okay, good to know. Jackson's era, Andrew Jackson, is often characterized by increased political participation of, and then it's under President Jackson's leader, we see the rise in the common man. No longer are politics between the realm of the elites, yet there are those who question its declaration, directly against removal of Native Americans. White male I assume by common man they mean white male non-property owners. Yeah, okay, so that's actually still not very helpful, but it's something. The removal of Native Americans, mentioned the expert, refers to the Indian Removal Act and the Trail of Tears. Yes. Yes. That I remember learning about. Jackson's battle against the National Bank. Never heard of this. Yeah, there is a question his decisions, particularly against the removal of Native Americans from the battle against the National Bank. Okay, I don't know what this is, but it was rooted in his belief that banks should print more currency. Maybe. The bank was an elite institution. Actually, maybe, because that would make the common man like him more. Under foreign control, no. And no. I'm going to go with B, but it could be A. Yes! Okay. A significant criticism of Jackson's presidency was his perceived authoritarian style. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah. I remember Andrew Jackson, at least from what I learned about him, being a very controversial, potentially authoritarian type figure. Oh, I'm getting ads on my music. Alright, let's continue. The Oregon Trail was like it was a thing about migration. Oh yeah, there we go. As we journey westward, the promise of fertile land and new opportunities beckons us. Yet the path is fraught and danger, and we often encounter native tribes whose reaction to us or presence are very greatly. The government's promise of a better life drives many, but I wonder what cost. Okay. Was significant because... Yes, I'm pretty sure it's this. Yep. The mention of varying reaction to native tribes most directly refers to... Well, some attacked them and some tried to be friends with them. This is possible. This is possible. No. This also happened. But it's A, B, and D. Like, the fact that it varies means all three happened, right? I'm gonna say this, though. Yeah. The government's promise of a better life can best be understood in the context of... Government's promise of a better life. It's not the Missouri Compromise, because that was about slavery. Oh, Manifest Destiny. Yeah. The westward expansion. The concerns expressed in the settler about the cost of westward expansions foreshadow... Sorry. The concerns expressed in the settler... Oh, but the cost of foreshadow... Potentially? No. Yes? Because, like, because there was also slavery of native people, and then the land rights of them. I'm going to reluctantly go C. And it was reluctantly correct. What was the primary objective of the Homestead Act? Oh, I remember that as a name that exists. If the question was, is the Homestead Act a real act in the US? That'd be an easy yes. Don't know what it is, though. Here's a part of it, though. Any person who is the head of a family or has arrived at the age of 21 years old and is a citizen of the U.S., or who shall file his declaration of intention to become such, shall be entitled to enter 1/4 section or less quantity of unappropriated public lands. This person must cultivate and improve the land by building a dwelling and farming the area for 5 years before receiving ownership. Okay, so this is like, we'll give you land if you make it better for us and kind of like give us claim as the United States over that territory. To sell public lands. No, this is free, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Promote westward expansion. Yep. What's my time? Let me look at stream for my time real quick. 14 minutes, and how many questions am I in? Damn, I think I'm doing faster than I did at AP World. Okay. What was required of settlers in the Homestead Act in order to gain ownership of the land? Pay a significant sum. No, sorry. Cultivate and improve the land, yeah. I wonder if this is easier than a normal exam, because, I don't know, this feels kind of like you can read the question and get the answer. How did the Homestead Act impact the demographics of American West? It made it more white. No. Yes. Well, this is more correct. This happened. There was an influx of settlers. But there wasn't decrease. Oh, no, because they were the immigrants, so it's B. Yeah. I thought this said native population. So. Alright, which of the following groups was most directly affected by the westward expansion promoted by the Homestead Act? Affected? The natives that were there. Yeah. What was the primary object? Oh, Abraham Lincoln. Emancipation Proclamation. Before I even read this, I'm not even going to look at it. The Emancipation Proclamation was the freedom of the slaves. That on the first day of January in the year of our Lord 1863. Is that how they said 1863 back then? All persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of that state, the people whereof shall be in the rebellion against the United States, shall be thenceforth forever free, granting freedom to slaves. Yes. Yes. How did the Emancipation Proclamation impact the Civil War? Well, it started the Civil War, no? It did not end all hostilities. It did lead to death, but it's not related to the Civil War. It strengthened the moral... It did not strengthen, so I guess it's B. What? It strengthened the moral cause of the the Union. Right, so this is something that I'm going to learn I kind of forgot about. The Union was the North, and the Confederacy was the South. The Union is not the entire United States. I see. Oh, another one wrong. Which of the following groups would most likely oppose the principles outlined in the Emancipation Proclamation? People who own slaves. Yeah. Can be seen as a precursor to which of the following amendments. Yikes. We have to remember amendment numbers? That's kind of crazy. It's definitely not the 10th, because the 10th is still in the Bill of Rights. The 12th feels kind of soon to be... I kind of want to go 15th. 15th feels right. And it was 13th. Ooh. Damn, wait, so between the Bill of Rights and the Freedom of the Slave, there's only three... there are only 3 amendments? Because we have 27 now, so we kind of picked up the pace. We also haven't had an amendment in, like, ages, so which is why I kind of thought that it was more closer to the beginning, but... Interesting. Okay, 13th. Cool. So 14th was probably, Reconciliation? Is that what it was called? Chinese Exclusion Act. I don't even have to read this. It was to kick out the Chinese people. No. Yes. Yeah. I should probably read it now, though. Whereas, in the opinion of the government of the United States, the coming of Chinese laborers to this country endangers the good order of certain localities within the territory whereof, therefore be enacted that from now and after the expiration of 90 days after the passage of this act, and until the expiration of 10 years after the passage of this act, the coming of Chinese laborers in the United States be and the same is hereby suspended, and during such suspension it shall not be lawful for any Chinese laborer to come, or having so after the expiration of said 90 days, to remain within the United States. We're gonna kick out Chinese people because we're racist. reflects American societal attitudes that they don't like Asian people. No. Yes. No. No. Okay. Which group was most affected by the Chinese Exclusion Act? Chinese people. Yeah. Which broader themes does the Chinese Exclusion Act represent in American history? This one, the tension of liberty and practice of exclusion. Yeah, it's not very liberty of y'all. Not cool, man. Well, I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner yet. I was gonna go to Chipotle before the stream started. I took a nap instead. I edited and took a nap. When does Chipotle close? I probably shouldn't be searching this on stream, but I'm going to. I'm hungry. Chipotle, closing time. Chipotle closes at 10? No, not at 10. Oh, there's another place that closes at 11. I might actually go to Chipotle after this stream, which means I have to hurry up because this place closes at 11. So I should probably keep working. Okay. Let us continue. 1 second. I need to find my way back to what I was doing. Okay, here we go. The jungle. The description of Packingtown in the jungle. I don't know what any of this means. In Packingtown, the fertilizer is pure instead of bringing a flavoring, and instead of a ton or so spread on the several acres of open sky, there are hundreds of thousands of tons of it in one building, heaped here and there in this haystack pile, covering the floor several inches deep and filling the air with a choking dust become blinding. There's fertilizer everywhere, and it's unsanitary and hazardous. So potentially, not the efficiency, not the advancements, and not the prosperity. So this one. The jungle is an example of journalism isn't supposed to be societal. Yes. No. 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 Yep. There you go. Which of the following is the direct result of the lightning? No. Okay. Which of the following was the direct result of the public reaction? I don't know what the public reaction was, but I assume that they were like, "Oh, this is bad," and then they should start something. So the Federal Reserve is not related to this. Neither is Social Security, and neither is Park Service. So it's the Pure Food and Drug Act and Meat Inspection Act. Cool. 1906. Got it. The problems highlighted in the jungle can be attributed to the rapid industrialization and lack of oversight. Yeah. Oh, I remember this. This was about the Treaty of Versailles, I'm pretty sure. It'll be our wish purpose that... Oh, no, this was, what Woodrow Wilson wanted to be passed instead of the Treaty of Versailles, which did not, get signed, and instead the Treaty of Versailles did, which the U.S. did not sign. It'll be our wish and purpose that the process of peace, when they are begun, shall be absolutely open, and that they shall involve and permit henceforth no secret understanding of any kind. The day of conquest and aggrandization is gone by, and so is our day of secret covenants entered into the interest of a particular government, and likely some unlooked moment to upset the peace of the world. After he said this, there was World War II and the Cold War, and then the Iraq War, and then now all the other issues in the Middle East, and also a rapid rising new Cold War with China. So, this didn't happen. But his primary objective was to make lasting peace after World War I. My music disappeared. Where did my music go? Oh, I forgot I need to restart the music sometimes. Yeah. I've had to do that in ages. Okay. Let's continue. We're now in the 20th century, which the U.S. became more relevant in world history at that point, so I'm probably going to start to know more now. 14 points can be seen as a reflection of the idealistic vision. Yes, because it definitely did not happen that way. Which internal organization proposed by Wilson aimed to address the global conflicts and prevent future war? The League of Nations, which then fell after World War II and was replaced by the United Nations. The Scopes Trial. Never heard of it before. Well, let's read it. Let's read a summary of it. In Dayton, Tennessee, a high school teacher named John Scopes was charged with violating Tennessee's Butler Act, which made it unlawful to teach human evolution. The trial drew intense national publicity as journalists centered on the small town and covered the big-name lawyers. William Jennings Bryan for the prosecution and Clarence Darrow for the defense. The trial served as a dramatic clash between traditionalism, presented by Bryan, and the modernism championed by Darrow. Conflict between tradition, values, and modern scientific theories. Yeah. The Butler Act, with John Scopes as accused of violating, prohibited the teachings of human evolution. Yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Because I learned about evolution in biology recently in a school-funded classroom. Which of the following best describes the outcome of the Scopes trial? I don't know, but I would assume he was probably found guilty and then it was overturned. Because I don't trust the judges to have fair ideas here in this time period of 1925. Yeah, makes sense. The Scopes trial can be seen as a reflection of cultural tensions in the Roaring Twenties. Hey, there's also cultural tensions in the new Roaring Twenties. Isn't that crazy how history repeats itself? Dr. King's letter. Oh, this is from the Birmingham jail. I've read this in elementary school. This is like a very famous thing that I teach us a lot. It was written in response to his arrest. In response to a lot of things, but also his arrest. Criticisms from fellow clergymen and his activities in Birmingham. Okay. Cool. Good to know. The concept of non-violent resistance championed by Dr. King was influenced by Gandhi. That we learned. We learned that in the decolonization and globalization units in AP World. Which legislative achievement is most directly associated with the efforts of the Civil Rights Movement during the 1960s? The Voting Rights Act? Yeah, allows black people to vote. The challenges faced by the Civil Rights Movement in the late 1960s included... That's not true. I don't know. That sounds right. Yeah. Because also Martin Luther King died in this time period, the late 1960s. He got assassinated. President Reagan's speech at the Brandenburg Gate. I went to the Brandenburg Gate. Wait, that's crazy. Ronald Reagan was there. Wait, so when I did for those who don't know, I did a study abroad trip recently. I was recently in Berlin, and I'm making a video about it as well. And I went to the Brandenburg Gate several times. So that's actually so cool. Okay, what do you say at my Brandenburg Gate? Behind me stands a wall that encircles the free sectors of the... Oh, because this is... Yeah, there was still two... This is before the wall fell down. Behind me stands a wall that encircles the free sectors of the city, part of a vast system of barriers that divides the entire continent of Europe. General Secretary Gorbachev, who is the last president of the Soviet Union. If you seek peace, you seek prosperity in Eastern Europe, you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Primarily addressed the division in Berlin. Yeah. That's crazy that a Berlin question came up when I just came back from a trip to Berlin. That's cool. Reagan's call to tear down this wall symbolic of the end of communist barriers and the spread of democracy. Yeah. The liberalization mentioned in the excerpt refers to political and economic reform of Soviet Union and Eastern Europe. Yeah. Because Gorbachev was like very liberal compared to all the other presidents that came before him. The backdrop for Reagan's speech was what was happening in 1987, like the fall of the Soviet Union. Oh, there was the Vietnam War, but they did not win that. Yes, there were thawing relations. So I'm going to say this. Yeah, because Gorbachev was kind of cool. Oh my god, that's it. I didn't realize I was level 55. Okay, so last time I did an exam, I did not get my score immediately, but this is a place that was doing it for me. So 91% is not bad. I'm fairly certain that's an A. I have a feeling this test, I think, is easier than a normal APUSH exam. Mainly because, like, I should not be able to get 51 out of 55 questions correct without taking the exam. Especially before watching Heimler. Okay, so with that, we are moving on to the next section, which is the short answer questions. Okay, for this part, I do need, what's it called? I'm going to need to have a doc open. Doc's not new. 1 second, I'm opening up a new document. Can y'all see both documents or only one? Hold up. There we go. There we go, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna put my camera in the middle then for this part. And then just make it smaller. Wait, hold up. The chat is falling off the screen. Hold up. 1 second. Chat should be here. There we go. Alright, let's shrink that. I'll put myself here. Is that too small? No, it should be fine. Okay, if I remember SAQs correctly, I have to answer question 1 and question 2, then I'm given 2 different questions for 3 and 4, and I can answer whichever I choose. Okay, so I'm gonna write here. Why is it not 100%? Okay, I'm gonna write in big letters here, SAQ. Then I'll make this next part smaller. 1. Alright, read the experts and respond to the following A, B, and C. Alright, FDR, who was the president during World War II, majors banking reform. The second Glass-Steagall Act actually weakened the banking system by breaking up the strongest banks to separate commercial banking from investment banking. Almost every historian has praised FDR's other major financial reform, establishing the Securities and Exchange Commission to supervise the registration of securities and the operation of securities in the market. But in terms of the rate of return, investors were not better off than they were in the 1920s. High unemployment lasted as long as it did because of the New Deal policies that took money out of people's pockets, disrupted the money supply, restricted production, harassed employers, destroyed jobs, discouraged investment, and subverted economic liberty needed for sustained business recovery. Okay. To be fair, no, this was before World War II, though. I see. This is in the 30s. Okay. Oh, there's more. There's a second part. Oh, I forgot there's 2 pieces of content. Okay. Although the New Deal economic policies came up short in the 1930s, they implanted several stabilizers that have been successful in averting another such depression. The Securities and Exchange Act of 1934 established government supervision in the stock market. The Glass-Steagall Banking Act forced the separation of commercial and investment banking and broadened the powers of the Federal Reserve Board to change interest rates and limit loans for speculation. Wait, I'm sorry, what? Broaden the powers. I didn't know the Federal Reserve couldn't do this before. I thought the whole point of the Federal Reserve was to change interest rates and limit loans. But okay. The creation of the FDIC increased government supervision of state banks and significantly lowered the number of bank failures. Such safeguards restored confidence in the discredited banking system and established a firm economic foundation that performed well for decades thereafter. This one likes FDR. This one does not like FDR. Okay. Briefly explain the difference between Powell and Biles' views on the Frank. Okay, well, it's just they disagreed. Powell's and Biles' views on FDR's New Deal policies are in opposition to each other. Powell believed this hurt the American is capitalized, American economy. I'm gonna make this smaller. This should not be this large. Yo. This should be like 18. Okay. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna do this. Powell believes it hurt the American economy in the short and long term, while Biles believed that, what did he believe? That they created a solid foundation for the state of the economy for the following decades. Cool. Briefly explain one historical event or development from 1932 to 1945 that is not explicitly mentioned could be used to support Powell's views. Powell was saying that interest from open or off. So I'm gonna bring up World War II, right? That's just what I should be doing here. Unless there's some other thing. There's probably something that's better to bring up in the 30s, but I haven't taken the class yet, so I'm gonna go with World War II. But how did World War II help Powell? Okay, you know what I'm gonna say? One historical event that could be used to support Powell's views is World War II. This war caused further short-term economic harm to America, to the United States. The United States and its citizens. So it could be argued that FDR's New Deal policies set up the policies weakened the economy before the war furthered the damage. I don't believe that, but it could be argued. Briefly explain one historical event that could be mentioned. Okay, well, I did not read it. That was part C. Can I just say World War II again? Because people can still have different views based on... between 1932 and 1945? Can I say the start of the Cold War? Because the Cold War technically started in 1945. The majority of the Cold War hasn't happened yet. What else happened? Like, in America specifically. Because, like... Oh, it turns out it's easier to take the class and take the exam afterwards. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say the start of the Cold War. One historical event that could be used to support Byles's views is the start. Oh my god. The start of the Cold War. Having an economic foundation that strengthens stability for the following decades allowed for the US to have a head start on the Cold War against the Soviet Union. I'm just gonna start at the top of there. Alright, that is number one. Next. Number two. Sorry, what the fuck? So I didn't mean to say that. I forgot I can't swear on stream. Yikes. Okay. Read an excerpt and respond to parts A, B, and C. War with Mexico. Okay, I actually do not know much about the Mexican-American War. We didn't learn too much about it in my U.S. history class. And this guy's looking crazy. I didn't learn too much about it in U.S. history in 8th grade. Alright, meanwhile, the plot oh no, Frederick Douglass. Meanwhile, the plot thickens, the evil spreads. Large demands are made on the national treasury, to wit, the poor man's pocket. The loss of thousands of her own men. I think he means America. The loss of thousands of her own men and the slaughter of tens of thousands of the sons and daughters of Mexico have rather given edge to the dullness of her appetite for fiery conflict and plunder. We know where to find the so-called Democrats. They are the accustomed panderers to slaveholders. Nothing is either too mean, too dirty, or too infamous for them, while commanded by the merciless man-stealers of our country. No one expects anything honorable or decent from that party, touching human rights. They annexed Texas under the plea of extending the area of freedom. They elected James K. Polk, the slaveholder, as the friend of freedom, and they have backed him up in the presidential falsehoods. James K. Polk was a president, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to assume he was president in this. Oh, you know what? This is a inauguration day. So I'm fairly certain that maybe James K. Polk, or is it the day before, the day after. So James K. Polk was probably inaugurated the day before. No, he wasn't, because it would have been 49, not 48. No, I actually don't know. It might have been a coincidence. It's January 21st. Okay. Briefly describe the point of view of this excerpt. Regarding what? Regarding the war? Regarding Democrats? Because he had words to say about both. Okay. The point of view that this excerpt describes is one against the Mexican-American War, and against Democrats who prolonged said war. I don't know how to say prolonged. There we go. Briefly describe how one specific historical event or development between 1800 and 1844 led to historical developments such as those depicted in the excerpt. Okay, so I'm going to assume that the war started after 1844 because he's talking about here. Actually, I only know that the Mexican-American War was sometime around the 1840s, 50s. So I'm going to hope that it's after this time period. And I'm going to say, okay, so I'm going to mention westward expansion for this one. I'm going to say one historical developments in the early 19th century that led to the developments in the excerpt is westward expansion. Wait, when was the war with Texas? When did we get Texas? When did we annex Texas? Because I feel like that could, if that was before 1844, that might actually help. The thing is, I don't know when that was. And I feel that if it happened after 1844, like, I don't want to risk that happening after 1844, in which case it's not worth it, right? So I might just go with westward expansion. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say something about westward expansion. Many new states and territories were added to the Union in this time, leading to the tensions depicted, eventually leading to the Mexican-American War. And then for C, I can just talk about the Mexican-American War. That resulted from this. Yes, okay. One historical event in the mid 19th century that was resulted by the developments in the excerpts is the Mexican-American War. The the actions of the Democrats led to the death of many Mexicans and Americans in the process of gaining territory. My music ended again. There we go. Not here. Okay, back to it. Alright, the next part, I'm pretty sure I choose one that doesn't have anything. Yeah, okay. I'm a little worried about this one. Mostly because there's nothing for me to fall back on in terms of content. I just have to know it. So let's hope it's like a 20th century thing, because I know 20th century stuff. Ooh, British government. Oh no. Yes! Perfect. Exactly what I need. Okay, I'm gonna do 4 then. Oops. Oopsie daisy. Okay, so I'm just gonna... Okay. 4A. Briefly describe one way in which the United States policy towards the Soviet Union contributed to the Cold War between the two nations. Policy towards the Soviet Union. I mean, during this time, they were like, they were aligned by common interests. They worked together in World War II. Contributed to the Cold War. I'm fairly certain this happened. This I learned not in AP World, but in my time in Berlin. One way that U.S. policy towards the USSR led to the Cold War was not sharing all relevant information regarding their information during their alliance in World War II. This inherent lack of trust led to the full Cold War once World War II finished. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Okay, next one. Briefly describe one similarity or one difference between the United States response and the Soviet response to the Cold War. Okay. One similarity between the US and the USSR in the Cold War was the arms race of weapons to attempt to be militarily ahead of each other. Yeah, they both did this. Briefly describe one similarity or one difference between the United States fronts and the COVID between 1980 and 1991. Okay. Can I say that one similarity is like they both were becoming more open about like protest against it? Because at the very least the USSR did. But I don't know if it's a similarity or a difference. I don't know if the US did that. Oh, that's a tough one. Did the US more restrict or more open criticism of the Cold War in the 80s? Maybe we should talk about something else. What else happened in that year? I mean, the wall fell in Berlin. Gorbachev became president. Reagan became president. And George H.W. Bush. No, Reagan already was president. And then, no, Reagan became president in 1980, and then George Bush became president in 1988. Reagan was a very open, like, neoliberal guy. And Gorbachev was as well. See, this is where my lack of knowledge comes into play. I'm not entirely sure here. So, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the opening of, like, talks. I would say one similarity between the U.S. and the USSR, and I'm going to say the early Cold War. In the late Cold War was the policy of becoming more open to free speech and therefore criticism of the Cold War under Presidents Reagan, Bush, and Gorbachev. Close enough. Cool. Alright, there we go. So, that is the SAQ done. Oh boy. Oh, I didn't have my timer here. Oops, that's my bad. Here you go. Alright, SAQs and MCQs done in 50 minutes. So during the actual exam, I would have still been like waiting for the MCQs to end. But I'm not waiting because I have stuff to do and Chipotle to eat after this. But we're at a good pace. Alright, so we now have an hour and 40 left in the exam. We would normally have. We have 2 hours now. To do the DBQ and the LEQ. Not looking forward to writing. I haven't written an essay since then. Because, no. I think I wrote one English essay. For my, let me take a break here. Let me just take a big fat break. I haven't done an essay since I did one for English class for my final. But other than that, I hadn't done an essay since the AP World exam. And I'm about to do 2 of them. So that's fun. Alright, I'm gonna go get started. I'm gonna go do this freaking essay. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna do it on the same document. I'm just gonna go down. DBQ. And bring that back down to, what was this at, 18? Yeah. Alright, let's take a look at what the DBQ has in store for us. I beg of you, be 20th century. Alright, hold up, I need to... 1 second. I need to reorganize everything back into here. Okay, here we go. Can you guys see this? No, you can't. There you go. Cool. Okay, let us continue. Let's do this. DBQ. Evaluate the extent to which the rise of industrial capitalism contributed to the increase in labor unrest in the U.S. from 1865 to 1900. Oh my god. Fine. Yike. Okay, so my thought process was the more like other countries and like AP World I can get in this question, the better. There is no sort of AP World in this question. It is fully about the United States economy during industrialization. I learned about industrialization, so that should help. That's about all the help I'm gonna get. Alright, let's get into it. What does D1 have in store for me? This is by Forbes Publishing 1917. Only a company owning properties in different parts of the world could have a residential oil business inspired by our whole plant in a few hours from the flow of everyone. Only a large company could afford to spend millions in improving facilities and holding to terrace and reducing costs. Only companies such as Standard Oil could afford to build thousands of miles of pipelines to do away with costly processes of shipping and fuel and barrel. Only such a company could afford to erect huge inventories and later discard at the very moment. Okay, so saying big oil companies have the potential to blow up the whole world. Only such a company could afford to design and build expensive tank steamers for export trade and tank cars for domestic transportation. Only such a company could afford to send agents into every country in the world to create new markets, often against bitter opposition. Only such a company could undertake a supply a large quantity of unerring regularity, notwithstanding is one word. The sudden disasters to which any and every oil property was liable. Only such a mammoth concern could cover the country facilities to supply oil direct from the producer to millions of small consumers. Okay. So my original method of doing DBQs that I was taught in AP World was to like write out the different perspectives of each one. But I feel like it's kind of hard to do if like it's all about one country, because I'm used to like different countries as perspectives. But I guess I could talk about the perspectives like economic people. So I guess I could say like, is it even anti-Standard Oil? I would say believes big oil is powerful. That's as much I'm going to write for now. Yeah, I feel like it's a different, even though I've done DBQs before, it's a different thing to do DBQ on one country versus an area, you know? Like, the DBQ this past year for AP World was about transportation in African societies, and that was very, like, you know, I could get used to that. And, like, I can talk about different countries and, like, the Europeans, but here it's all about Americans. Anyway, this one, 28 years in Wall Street in 1888. This is before the time period ends. This is in the moment. Okay. Discussing JP Morgan. Large-scale industrial production accompanied by mass technological change, expanding international communication networks, pro-growth government policies, generated rapid economic development and business consolidation. Businesses made use of redesigned financial and management structures, advancing in market, and a growing labor force to dramatically increase the production of goods. Many business leaders sought increased profits by consolidation of corporations into large trusts and holding companies, which further concentrated wealth. Business increasingly looked outside U.S. borders in an effort to gain greater influence and control over markets and natural resources in the Pacific Rim, Asia, and Latin America. Donald Trump would hate to see that coming. Manufacturing outside the U.S.? Oh, no. Okay, so I'm going to say this is pro-growth. Mentions international manufacturing. This one didn't have much of an opinion. It was very opinionated. There's 7 documents, right? Yeah. Isn't one document supposed to be a picture? Maybe that's an AP World only thing. Alright, the U.S. Attorney General in 1892, a letter to Charles Eliot Perkins, who's the president of Chicago. Like the mayor of Chicago? Oh, no. President of Chicago Quincy Railroads. Okay. Published in 1977. Okay. My impressions would be that looking at the matter of the railroad point of view exclusively, repeal of the Interstate Commerce Act would not be a wise thing to undertake. The attempt would not likely to succeed. If it did not succeed, it would be made on the grounds of inefficiency and uselessness of the commission. The result would probably be giving it the power it now lacks. The commission, as it functioned, I don't know what the Interstate Commerce Act is. The commission, as it functions and limited by the courts, is or can be made of great use of the railroad. It satisfies the popular clamor for a government supervision of railroads. At the same time, the supervision is almost entirely nominal. Further, the older such a commission to be, the more inclined it will be found to the business and railroad view of things. The part of wisdom is to not destroy the commission, but to utilize it. Okay. So, I don't know what this is talking about. Like, all I got from this is railroads. But I feel like it'd probably be really useful to know what the Interstate Commerce Act is. I'm going to write probably don't use. I don't know what Interstate Commerce Act is. Alright, that's wonderful. Alright, this is a court case, United States versus E.C. Knight Company in 1895. Oh my god, it's a long one. Alright, buckle up, I'm about to read all this. The bill then alleged that in order that the American Sugar Refining Company might obtain complete control of the price of sugar in the U.S., monopoly, that company and John East Searles Jr., acting for it, entered into an unlawful and fraudulent scheme to purchase the stock, machinery, and real estate of the other four corporation defendant, that's why the FTC exists, by which they attempted to control all the sugar refineries for the purpose of restraining the trade thereof with other states, and theretofore carried on independently by said defendants. In pursuance of this scheme, on or about March 4th, 1892, Sears entered into a contract with the defendant, Knight Company, and individual stockholders named for the purchase of the stock of that company, and subsequently delivered the defendants, therefore, in exchange shares of the American Refining Sugar Company. That's monopoly. That's a cartel. That, on about the same date, Sears entered into a similar contract with the Spreckles Company individual stockholders, and with the Franklin Company stockholders, and with the Delaware Sugar. Okay, a cartel is what's happening here. It was further averred that the American Sugar Refining Company monopolized the manufacture and sale of the refined sugar in the United States and controlled the price of sugar, making contracts, Sears and the American Sugar Refining Company and conspire with other defendants to restrain trade and commerce in refining sugar among the several states and foreign nations. And that said, contracts were made with the intent to enable the American Sugar Refining Company to restrain the sale of refined sugar in Pennsylvania and among the other states. Is this happening in Pennsylvania? That's a very random thing to call out. And to increase the regular place at which refined sugar was sold, thereby to extract and secure large sums of money from the state of Pennsylvania and the other states in the United States, and from all purchasers, that the same was unlawful and contrary to the said act. The circuit court declined. Circuit court declined upon appealing a proof to grant relief. Relief paid. I think that is supposed to say. I don't know. And dismissed the bill. And we are of the opinion the circuit court of the appeals did not affirmatively agree. Okay. So sugar monopoly and cartel. In 1890s. Okay. Document 5, what do you have in store? This is some lessons of the Great Strikes. It's like a journal or something in 1894. It's a long one. These documents are so much longer in AP World. That a disturbance is created of the criminal recklessness of such a leader, Eugene versus Debs, and such followers that are always sure finally to be suppressed by the public authority, especially when the nation's government is presided over so faithfully by the courage of Chief Grover Cleveland, who was a president. It's true enough, but society owes it to itself not to only suppress them for they are going on, it ought to prevent them. This end to a rigid enforcement of existing laws, inflicting severe penalties upon the conspirators to make warning examples of them, as well as suitable additions to the law to increase effectiveness will no doubt be of service, but this does not suffice. I don't know what this is talking about. What laws? I really hope it says. Oh, railroads. Okay, so that can tie back to I can't use D3, but okay. Well, all railroad and telegraph corporations, upon which is coming. I'm so tired. I got hit by a yawn mid-speech. Okay. All railroad and telegraph corporations upon which the country has to depend for the transportation of persons and goods and the transmission of intelligence, things as indispensable to our existence as the people of the circulation of the blood and the human body, should adopt and engage themselves inflexibly to adhere to the rule never to employ a man who will not bind himself to contract in the most effective way, absolutely to abstain himself from the participation of any sympathetic strike. It is a sympathetic strike that does not mischief on the great scale, the scale that will throw away railway traffic or telegraph systems to the whole continent to chaos, and inflict incalculable loss and suffering upon millions of people. And on the ground, some railroads use cars, and some car shops are railing on the rolling mill. The telegraph companies, whatever. Remote's kind of danger. Yo, what is this talking about? I feel like these documents are very like, you need to know the topic, and we're going to give you a little bit of information. And I do not know a little bit of information. So, I'm going to, again, write railroads. Probably don't use. I don't know what it's talking about. D6. Okay. The music shut off again. Hold up 1 second. Okay. This one's shorter, thank God. June 1886. North American Review. There have been numerous vacancies created by these strikers voluntarily resigning. There's been no difficulty in filling these vacancies by those that are equally capable, if not so more, by other countries flocking to our shores. The steam ferry, which connects this country and Europe, is demonstrated by the steamer that arrived in 6 days in 10 hours' time from European shores to our own. 10 hours, kind of a lot. 6 days in 10 hours. Never mind, that's a lot. As the interval between the downtrodden and the oppressed operatives in the old world in America, and thus reduced hours, Europe will quickly send us all the labor we need to meet the emergency. Miss Gray, the 3rd Avenue Railway Company, and the Missouri Pacific are the generals that have won the victory. The strikes may have been justifiable in other nations, but are not justifiable in our country. Strikes are cool unless they're in America, because they affect me personally. And there is a mistake, there's where the mistake in organizing such a movement. The Almighty has made this country for the oppressed of other nations, and therefore is the land of... Okay, so... railway worker strikes. Immigrants fill the vacancies. Alright. Last documents. This is... This dude, I don't know who that is, sent a letter to Hamilton A. Hill, New York in 1876. I don't know who either of those people are. For my own part, it seems to me the present is as favorable a time as we can expect for the agitation of the free trade question. Manufacturers are not prosperous, and many of them have begun to suspect under a more liberal system they would thrive better. That is a view of the question which may now be incited on the great effect. I have no doubt for my part under the tariff now before the House of Representatives, a great many branches of industry will start to immediate activity. Oh, what a time where tariffs were chosen by the House of Representatives, as they're supposed to be. As to the current question, there is no doubt extremely important. As to the currency question, that is no doubt extremely important to those who view. But who will it be settled? By waiting for it, we produce many impressionable we inquisite a protective tariff. It is unfortunate, in my opinion, that when during the war prohibited duties were laid under the pretense of procuring a revenue, we did not protest more vehemently to keep up agitation, instead of contenting ourselves to a quiet protest. Before the war, what war are we talking about? This is 1876. Oh, the Civil War. Okay, that makes sense. Before the war, the protective system had almost died out, wasting away a kind of old age. During the war, the country went back to a state of ignorance and prejudice on the question of free exchange. A new generation has arisen who knew nothing of the subject and who easily adopted the possibilities of the protectionists. It appears to me at this moment that while even the protectionists are bewildered and perplexed by the failure of their thievery, the time has arrived for the earnest and unremitted agitation of the free trade question. Okay, this dude is pro-free trade. Believes that civil war caused citizens to be more protectionist. Oh boy. Okay. So, those are all the documents. Yikes. That's actually really yikes. Okay, it took me 10 minutes to read through. So I should spend no longer than 5 minutes organizing it. That was so bad. I knew so little of what was happening there. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, that's fine. That's okay. That's actually wonderful. So, here's the plan. Here's the game plan of what we're going to do. Evaluate the extent to which the rise of industrial capitalism can increase labor unrest. Okay. I'm going to, 1, talk about monopolies on consumers. I'm also going to talk about railroad worker strikes. Okay. And then I think it's worth it to have a whole paragraph on the Civil War thing. Actually, you know what I should do? This should be railway workers, right? This should be, international labor. And then this one is going to be about just this last part. Free trade versus protectionism. Okay, I think those are 3 arguments. So we're going to say... I forgot to do a thesis paragraph, I think. Okay, frick me. I'm going to start off by writing. I'm just going to write, and then I'll delete this part later. Okay, in intro. Would this have to be in the intro of a DBQ? Oh, it's dark outside. That's crazy. In the intro of a DBQ, you need historical context. Historical context, and then a thesis. I'm pretty sure it's all you need. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like a intro is more nuanced than that. But it's okay. I'm just gonna write it anyway. That's the best I can do. Okay. Before the rise in industrialism beginning in 1865, the United States was going through a civil war. Sorry, I'm gonna redo this. In the early 19th century, the United States became a growing power due to its growing economy and expanding borders, expanding territory to support further manufacturing. Following the American Civil War, industrialization began around the globe, the U.S. being no different. Okay, and then I'm gonna do my thesis. However, while You know what I might do? I might make international labor a opposing argument. However, while the rise of industrial capitalism allowed for more jobs, capitalism on an international scale allowed for more jobs and economic growth. The labor unrest increased to a great extent due to monopolies placed on consumers and a division in free trade and protectionist ideologies spreading in the country. Spreading throughout the country. The country, not county. Okay, it feels a little short, and I feel like I might be missing stuff because I haven't done a DBQ in actual ages, but I'm gonna rip this. I feel like I was supposed to have something more specific for historical context. Like, I gave the context of early 19th century, like, growing economy and the Civil War as well, and, like, the rise of industrialization. I don't know if I want to be more specific, because I can mention that, like, it started out in Great Britain, and then that continued out to the U.S., because Great Britain was the U.S.'s largest trading partner at the time. But I don't think that's necessary. And I have my thesis. I have my my contrarian take. Yeah. Wait, sorry. What? Yes, I have my contrarian take. I have my claim. Then I have point 1 and point 2. So I think with that, I'm just going to go get started on the first one. I'm going to start off with the contrarian take. Many believe that industrial capitalism had a positive benefit on the labor market due to the increased ability to use out of country, I don't want to just use the word international all the time, country resources to grow a business within the US. So then now I have to actually bring up documents. And then I think I just remembered that I also need to have what's it called? Outside evidence. And I think the outside evidence could probably come in. Ooh. Probably here. Because I can mention the Civil War a lot, and I think that might be beneficial to my arguments. Yeah. Okay. But I'll start off with this. So, what documents was talking about this? I should probably write this down. That is going to be D2. Sorry. D2 and D6. And then this is going to be D1 and 4. And this is going to be D7. And then I'm just not going to touch the two ones about railroads because I don't have enough about that. I don't have enough outside information. Okay, the government is in the United States. what was document 2 again? Oh yeah. Document 2 describes companies' ability to manufacture outside of the US borders. This allowed for the company to expand as more resources became available to them, while also garnering more influence over other regions of the world. This gave the US an upper hand in the global economy for the decades and century and a half, for the century and a half to come. That's not how you spell garnering? Well, I guess not. A paragraph cannot be this short. Specifically in the 19th century, this was most seen in in the Pacific Rim, Asia, and Latin America. And then what was the other document? D6. D6. How much time do I have left on my thing? An hour 40. Oh, I'm chilling. I have infinite time. I only have 2.5 hours till Chipotle closes, though, so I do need to hurry up. If only I had DoorDash, I could just DoorDash Chipotle, but oh well. Okay. Here, it was talking about numerous vacancies of strike workers, and then where does it say sorry, no difficulty filling these vacancies. Yes, there we go. Furthermore, due to the globalization of industrial capitalism, many citizens of other nations began immigrating to the US with the hopes of finding a good job in the American economy. This allowed for any job vacancies to fill quickly, strengthening the stability of the economy, and I'm just gonna do that under me, and that is document 6. No, actually, I can keep talking. Of the economy, I need a specific example from here. For example, the Third Avenue Railway Company, which saw many strikes and loss of workers in the late 19th century, was able to maintain business by hiring foreigners who would work in worse conditions and for worse pay and benefits. We still see that happening today. Immigrants are more likely to be hired by companies that need job fillings because they're able to work in worse conditions and pay worse benefits, mainly because that's what they have to survive. Okay. I think that's it for the first paragraph. I think we're good. So now I can talk about what I actually wanted to talk about, which is not the opposing argument. I'm going to start with monopolies, which I think can best be seen with document 1. No, document 4 is best to start with that. Okay, and now I'm going to say, despite the international interactions able to be had with growing industrial capitalism, it was overall, it overall caused more unrest in labor among laborers and everyday citizens due to monopolies that became prevalent. A good example to encapsulate many American industries at the time is document 4. Is what the American Sugar Refining Company is the cartel that the American company created in the 1880s, as shown in document 4. The ASRC is what I'm going to call it. The ASRC signed contracts with the other three. I'm just gonna say it. With the other big sugar refinement companies to all raise the prices together in such a manner that laborers had no choice but to pay the now higher prices simply because there was no other option. Now, something that would be really good to add is like that the FTC hasn't been created yet, but I don't know if that's true or not. I believe it was created afterwards, because it was like, I remember something about it happening during World War I. So I'm inclined to say that the FTC has not existed yet. Nowadays, we have the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, to scrutinize and dismantle monopolies as best seen fit. But at the time, the only thing the government could do was file a lawsuit under the DOJ which is what ended up occurring to the sugar cartel in 1895. However, this process is long and inefficient. Not efficient. Google Docs don't do this to me. Leading to much unrest in the to much labor unrest. Furthermore, is document 1? Yes. Standard Oil. But this did not only occur in markets that directly sold to the everyday person. Standard Oil, which held a monopoly over oil in the United States, and sold to many car manufacturers and repairers in the country. Dude, there's no way my music already cut out. It's kind of crazy. I'm kind of on a roll. Time is flying by, which is actually not a good thing for a test because I only have an hour 30 left and I still have to finish this ZBQ and do the LEQ. Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna go. We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. We're gonna do this on time. Sold to many car manufacturers and repairers in the country. Sorry. Which sold to many country. Also held a monopoly. Hey, I like that game. According to a Forbes 1917 publishing, in document 1, what are they finding? In document 1, Standard Oil oil was able to provide Americans with oil, but with the cost of having nowhere else to turn. These examples of fast-growing markets without competition will always be worse for the laborers and consumers, but were expedited. But in the 1800s, the what's the opposite of benefits? Negatives? The negative impacts. Negative impacts were felt harder due to the rapid expansion of industrialization. Dude, I'm actually spitting bars right now. This is like a whole... I should probably make this smaller. I'm gonna make this 14. My god, what is happening? Oh my god, stop. Yeah, that's better. Oh, that's better. Can y'all see this on stream properly, though? Yeah, y'all can see it just fine. Okay. Alright, only one more paragraph, and then, the conclusion. What's next? Oh, free trade versus protectionism. Yikes. And this is also where I get my outside evidence point. Oh boy. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so. Documents 7. I didn't really understand this one all that much. But I can't only have one counter and one positive, and you'd have two positives, so. Should I spell out DOJ? No, it's fine. Okay, so, one piece of outside knowledge that is outside evidence not mentioned in the documents was the effect that the American Civil War had on the ideologies of the working class. Before the Civil War, I wouldn't say that. I would say the Civil War required more protectionist policies, as the Union did not want to trade with the Confederacy and vice versa. This led both halves of the now combined United States, I'm gonna say, led the civilians in both halves, now combined United States, to have a more protectionist stance. This led to companies what was this talking about? I'm like reading back at this and seeing what it says. One of these protectionist policies, as outlined in document 7, is the introduction of tariffs to the House of Representatives. The goal of tariffs is to bring more manufacturing to the United States, but this caused a rift in the goals of the United States government with the business owners of America, leading to a split in ideologies in the labor market as well. The music is so quiet. There we go. Okay, links goes well. How do I phrase this? As previously mentioned, international forms of manufacturing and hiring became popular among American businesses, as it was simply more profitable in the rising industrial nature of the global economy. This is such an there's such an economics focused doc, and I'm very interested in economics, and I try to like educate myself, but I also don't know a terrible amount, so I could be saying stuff that's completely wrong, and when I get a grade back and feedback, I could be shown completely wrong or completely right. We'll find out. All right, let's continue. And also, I noticed, I looked at stream, it looks like I have an ad for breast cancer on my stream. It's not my own ad, but I think I support this. I don't know what this company is, but I support helping people with breast cancer. Oh, the ad went away right when I said that. Okay, whatever. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna actually delete this part. And then from there, I can say that that this split between the government's goals and I'm gonna use different words, aspirations, and businesses' incentives also caused an already split ideologically split labor market. Those who agreed with the current government and those who didn't would clash, leading to unnecessary labor, how did they phrase it again? Labor unrest? Yeah. Necessary labor unrest that didn't exist before the Civil War. Okay, and now the conclusions where I get to yap. I forgot what I need to have in a conclusion. I need to restate the thesis. So I guess I'll do that now. Or I'll do it at the end, actually. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say... overall, the United States saw increasing labor unrest from 1865 to 1900 due to the which was greatly due to the rise of industrial capitalism. While international methods of economic growth allowed for the U.S. economy to remain in a growth trajectory. Economic of doing business. Well, this is the trajectory. The government's attempts to incentivize the opposite. And what was the other thing I had? Oh. And the increasing easiness of creating monopolies and cartels. Overall, or sorry, I keep saying overall, created a, I keep using the same words again, developed an unrestful environment for the labor market to work in. To this day, we still see a lot of the struggles of monopolies, such as, what's a good example of monopoly right now? Such as OpenAI in the AI space, and struggles over tariffs between the government and business owners. While the setting of these struggles have changed, the core remains similar, and it can be traced back to this post-war, I don't want to say post-war. Can be traced back to this time period, this 19th century time period of industrialization around the world and in the American country. Fire! Okay, I'm gonna look at chat again. Oh boy, we did the DBQ. Oh, I forgot how much energy DBQs take. Oh my goodness. Rudy Blythe, welcome to chat. Mr. Guy, why are you doing this? Mr. Guy is funny. We gotta get back into the swing of things. I know you're in school now. And don't you love to look at study guide academic content while you yourself are in school? Isn't that just so fun? It's something that you would love to do and spend your time doing? I mean, obviously, yes, because you were here, so, you know. Works out for me. Alright, 1 second. I'm pulling up the next bits. I don't know why this is so difficult. It does not need to be this difficult. Here we go. Alrighty, almighty. It's time for the Ellie freaking Q. I'm not gonna take a break. I feel like I can do it. I believe in myself. Here we go. Okay, once again, I'm just gonna create a new page. How many pages was this? 2.5 pages. Not too shabby. Alright, now it's time for the LEQ. Here we go. Okay, pull it up on my screen. Okay. Alright, so I have to do one of these, right? That sounds right. Okay. Here we go. Which, please tell me there's a good one here. Evaluate the extent to which European contact and colonization impacted indigenous populations. I don't have enough to write about that in my head. Evaluate the extent to which civil war is a turning point in U.S. history. Okay. I'm pretty sure 1877 is when Reconstruction either began or ended, one of those two. And then evaluate the extent to which technological advances in the 20th century transformed American society. Okay. I think I am most interested in number 2, but I probably have the most knowledge on number 3. So I'm going to do that. It's funny because I did a very similar LEQ for AP World. 1 second, sorry. There you go. In AP World, the LEQ that I did was evaluate the extent to which technological advancements increased women's rights around the world. And so this is just like a more broad question about still technology, than now it's America specific. But okay, let's frickin' write. Whew. Oh, an LEQ is kind of harder. It's more brain power. Okay, but it's shorter. I can finish it fast. I have 1 hour and 11 minutes to do it. I can definitely finish it in that time. Did I do the DBQ in half an hour? It's pretty crazy. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to be done with this. Oh my god. Alright, here we go. So, what are my main arguments? I'm going to talk about, which technological advances should I mention? You know what? Nuclear weapons. That could be a thing. Or I'm gonna say more broadly, weapons. What else? I'm gonna say this wasn't created, but I'm gonna say advancements in photography and videography. Because, like, in a journalistic sense. And then thirdly, I think communication. Internet. Oh, sorry. In this order, it's calling the internet email. And weapons is going to be like World War I, tanks. World War II, air defense. Air offense, I would say. I'm just going to save the Air Force. And then nuclear weapons. Okay, I think that's pretty solid, honestly. I think I can work with this. I can very certainly work with this. Okay. Let's write this frickin' essay. I'm just gonna do this to that one over there so y'all can see which one I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to start off with same thing, historical context and then intro. So, leading up to the 20th century, the United States saw rapid growth and preparing to become the superpower it became in the 1900s. This time saw not only expansion of territory, but expansion of technology. Technological advancements in the 20th century transformed American society to a great extent due to the weapons supplying the major global conflicts, increased methods of journalism via photography, videography, and sorry, and what else? There's one more thing I'm thinking of. Oh, transportation of mail. And increased and a what's another word for increased? And major developments in communication with phones and the internet. Okay, fire start. We're getting somewhere. We're doing stuff. Okay. What shall I tackle first? I can go in this order. I feel like the LDQ is like the DBQ is much more like you figure it out in the moment and you're still trying to piece together your story as you're writing. Whereas with this LEQ, I just wrote out everything I'm going to talk about. Like, I'm just going to spend the next half an hour writing out this. And the sooner I can get that over with, the sooner I can figure out my score and go to Chipotle. So, I'm going to go do that because I'm hungry. And it closes in 2 hours. Okay, here we go. Starting off the weapons. Firstly, the military sector of the United States saw great growth throughout the 20th century. This began with the outbreak and U.S. involvement in World War I. This war is seen by many as one that was entered with horses. Sorry, I'm gonna say a famous saying about this war is that soldiers entered with horses and left with tanks. Dude, my music keeps cutting out. Oh my goodness. Also, I opened another app I wasn't trying to open. Okay, let's hop back to it. The contrast in this saying showcases the rapid advancement in weaponry during the late. Oh my god, what did I just do? During the late 1910s. The 1910s. This trend, I would say, this trend continued into World War II, where the American Air Force saw a great leap in advancements, and many tech and many plane tech that was invented is still used today for both military and non-military purposes. Lastly, as the Cold War plagued all U.S. What would I phrase it? Plagued all U.S. Technological advancements in the second half of the 20th century. I'm just gonna say the Cold War. Okay. The most famous tech, of course, being the nuclear weapon. First and only used by the United States against Japan in 1945 to end World War II. The quality and amount of nuclear warheads greatly increased to fight back against a potential communist attack coming from the Soviet Union. But all these weapons didn't only affect soldiers and military personnel. I don't think that's how you spell personnel. Yeah. The everyday person, I'm gonna say, many people worked in factories during wartime and was in charge of preparing a lot of these new weapons. Furthermore, the threat of a nuclear bomb from the Soviets terrorized the American population as it did on the Soviets. How much time am I at? Ooh, just hit an hour remaining. Okay. On the Soviets. Alright, next paragraph. We're doing photography and videography, journalism. Another sector that saw an expansion in the 1900s was journalism. And this was no coincidence. Journalism in the present day relies heavily on photography, videography, and speedy communication between important cities such as DC and NYC to the rest of the country. The advancements in photography and the creation of videography allowed American society, the American population, to be much more educated on what was happening in their country, from politics to the economy. Citizens could make much more informed decisions when it came to voting and living out their daily lives. Is there anything else I need to say? I feel like it's kind of a short paragraph, but also I feel like it's fine. Like, I feel like I can rip that. That feels fine to me. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna go with that. I don't have much more to add. I don't want to yap, so it's also not. I'm not like actually giving it to a grader. I'm giving it to ChatGPT to grade at the end, but It's always good to practice proper etiquette if not giving the grader too much to work with. All right. Lastly, communication was not only important for news outlets. The everyday, American society greatly benefited from the expanding ways that they could communicate with others. While the 19th century brought a national mail system, I'm gonna phrase it like this. While the 15th century brought the printing press, and the 19th century brought a national mail system, the 20th century brought online communication. Beginning with telegraphs in the late 19th and early 20th century, people began using this new way of communicating. This was furthered by inventions such as the telephone. The telephone in the mid-century, the internet in the 70s, and finally, email in the 80s, which was first used by a sitting US president in the 90s. This transformed society by allowing families who live far away to be able to communicate in a faster manner than letters, allowing the government to to make quick decisions across states, and allowing I'm gonna move that to the end. Allowing journalists to quickly send information to others. And the government. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think that's it. And then I'm going to end off with a conclusion saying that overall, American society was nearly unrecognizable from 1900 to 2000. The country entered a time where people rode horses and communicated via letters, which took days to reach the recipients. By 2000, the vast majority of the country worked online and were able to do their jobs, receive information, and live a happier life with the fast manner that the 20th century technological advancements. Happier life, I'm going to say with the 20th century technological advancements given to them. And just as my music finishes its cycle, we're done! Alright, that in all took 2 hours and 9 minutes. Not bad, given that you have a 3-hour, 15-minute time period. Okay, so with that, chat, it is time to figure out our score. How we did this was... Let me figure out how we did this. I'm going to also put the timer away. I'm also going to put myself here now. How I did this last time was we searched up an APUSH rubric. Here. I'm pretty sure you can see it. Okay. The scoring criteria should be in here. And then we also did it through ChatGPT. We had ChatGPT grade everything. Here we go. Okay. I just took a practice exam for AP United States History. With the rubric and answers provided below, please give me an exam score with the same 1 to 5 system that College Board uses. Okay, and then now I have to pull everything back up. So I'm actually going to put this back into the original thing I had. Hold up. I know what I just said didn't make sense, but it's okay. Why is this taking so long? This should not be this difficult. Okay, can y'all see what I see? You can see what I see. Yay. Oh my god. Here we go. Okay, let's freaking do it. So, starting off with the... I don't know where it is, but the multiple choice, I got a 51 out of 50. I got a 51 out of 50 on the multiple choice. And then I need... Where's the rubrics for everything? AP History rubrics. There we go. Okay. Okay, we'll start off with this. This is important for ChatGPT to know. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me copy everything at once, but it's okay. We're gonna work with what we have. There we go. Okay. Next up, I should probably turn on music. I don't know why it's dead silent up in here. Let's freaking enjoy ourselves a little bit. Let's put on some fun music. Oh, perfect takeoff. I didn't see you earlier. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. My fault for not seeing you earlier. I'm in the process of copying everything down for ChatGPT so it can grade me properly. And then was that? It's the long essay. Where's part A? It's like missing a page. This is missing a page. What the hell? Page 529 is just not here. Is it supposed to be blank? I guess I'll just use this, the scoring guide. SAQs. Okay, and then at the very bottom, here are my SAQs. Here, okay, so I actually need to write out. Here are my SAQ questions and answers. So now I need to give it the short answers that I did. I wonder if it can like actually let me type all of this in. No, shoot. Wait, hold up. I wasn't done yet. Disregard the last message. I didn't put everything in yet. Okay. Let me go back and re-put in all this. My bad. Because the annoying thing is like, the thing about ChatGPT is you have to, like, to press, like, to return one down, you have to press enter and then shift, but also just pressing enter normally, gives, oh, why does it do it like that? Yikes. I don't like that it does that, but whatever. We will push through. And then what did I write for that one? No. Please Control C and then Control V. Did it just, it redid everything, right? No, it didn't actually, you're right. Okay. Yeah, okay. And then, yo, what the hell is happening here? Yeah, it keeps going there. And then number 2 is this. And then my answer was here. Okay, and then the last part was number 4. And then my answer for that is right here. Sorry, this is a little bit boring. I'm trying to get my answers out here. If you're just joining now, and it's a bit boring, this is why. Okay, next up is the DBQ, which I have to give it the all this information for this. I can just do this though, thank God. I really hope this all fits in one ChatGPT thing. So far, it's doing a good job of holding all of it. Wait, hold up. I should probably tell it this is the DBQ. This is the DBQ. Here is my DBQ. And then next up, lastly, we're almost there, is the LEQ. I did this one. Also, I should have said this is the DBQ prompt. Is the DBQ prompt and documents. And then here. This is the LEQ prompt. And then here is my LEQ. Here is my LEQ. Alright, turning the music off. Here is what ChatGPT says I got without taking the class and only taking the exam. What did I get? What? Oh my god. Okay, I think it wants me to tell it which parts is my writing. Oh my god. Okay, well, let's go find where the SAQ is in here. In this mess of a thing. What? Wait, what does it want from me? I'm sorry, what? I did do it. I can send the answers again for questions 1, 2, and 4. Do it again if it wants me to. Well, when I submitted my AP World one, it did not have this many issues. Oh my god, it keeps wanting information from me. Just tell me my freaking damn score. Also, every other time I try to do this, it like brings my thing back up. And then 4. Please, oh my goodness. Just give me my damn score. I actually hate ChatGPT. Okay, here we go. Finally, here is what I got without taking the class and only taking the exam. Please just work. Okay, thinking longer for better answer. Okay, we'll see what it gives me. Estimating the APUSH score. This is the new ChatGPT 5. It tells you what it's doing while it gives a longer answer. Evaluating SA2 responses, SAQ2. Okay, it's funny that I didn't know you could see it in real time. Am I blocking it on stream? No, I'm not. You can see it. SAQ4. All right. And the DBQ after this. Oh, it's like waiting. It's like it feels like I'm standing in front of a teacher waiting for her to give me my score back. Oh, please. This is so suspenseful. What's taking so long for SAQ4? This is like the shortest piece of writing I had. A 4? What? Really? SAQs. Or sorry, multiple choice for 40%. Alright. SAQs was 20%. I scored your part against the rubric. I got A for number 1, and then I got 2 through the rest of them. Okay. 4 out of 7 for the DBQ. I did not get evidence beyond the document. I didn't get specifically policy or event. Okay. And then... Oh, I forgot I have to do sourcing. I completely forgot about sourcing. I didn't get that here either, right? Oh, maybe it's only for this one. Okay. Then complexity, no. Okay. And then here, 5 out of 6. I missed 1 reasoning. Okay. Oh boy, what the hell? MCQ is excellent. Specific events. Are you sure I got a 4? Give me the score that College Board would give me, not a sugar-coated one. Did I actually get a 4? Damn. Alright. Well, that's good news for me, I guess. I'll take it. Alright, chat. There we go. That is the end of the AP World exam. Oh my goodness. I did better than I was expecting. That's what I got on my AP on my AP World exam. I wonder if like this exam was easier than a normal one. So I felt like the MCQs were a little easier. DBQs and the LEQs definitely didn't though. And then I wonder if ChatGPT graded me like I told ChatGPT like, are you sure I got a 4? But I mean, I'm not complaining. All right, so with that, I need to get out of here because I need food. But right before we end, there is one last thing that we need to do. Really, two last things we need to do. And those two things are called Wordle and Strands. All right, let's frickin' do this Wordle. Let me pull up the correct music for this. 1 second. 1 second. Una momento. Alright, let's frickin' do this frickin' Wordle. Let me make sure I'm not blocking anything. Move myself back to my normal spot. Alright, let's rip it. Whale. Tonic. Drugs. Actually, not much from here. The R isn't second, which is interesting. So it's probably third. I'm imagining like it's... But then what else would it be? You know? That's a hard one. Huh. The R could also be at the end. It could be like a EIR thing. I don't know. I need more information. I'm going jumpy. 5 letters I have yet. Oh, and it's not any of those? What the hell? Really? Wow, I have like nothing left. What the hell? Okay, what about like... I might start with an E. I mean, it could be eerie, but there's no E at the end. Let me do this just to see where the E is. Okay. So, it's either R-E-I something, or it's something E something I-R. And this looks more likely, I think. I only have one guess, because Jumpy didn't give me anything, and Eerie I knew was wrong, but I couldn't think of anything else. Dude, this Wordle's kind of hard today. What? I was thinking like veneer for a second, but there's no N. Because the issue is what's that middle one? Because it's not going to be R either way. Is revere a word? I think it might be revere. Let's go for it. It's not a word. Okay. Well. Revise without an E? Revy? No, there's no E at the end. Shoot. Revive. Revive is a word. Oh, there's no E at the end. Oh, yikes. Revik? Revik Ramaswamy. Oh, shoot. I don't know. Dude, I've never not finished a wordle within the type of this song. And I'm probably not going to get it here. What is this word? This would be so much easier if I knew where the R was. There's literally not that many words left at all. I can honestly just go through this till I find the word. It's the bad way out, but I feel like I'm not getting anything else. Oh my God. See, like, what is this? What is this supposed to be? Pause the music. I never paused the music during dailies. What was that? What? A fermented milk with a sour taste. Why is that a word? Oh, that sucks. Doesn't look like it tastes good either. Alright, let's forget this ever happened, do the strands. Let's just get on with it. Okay. Here we go. Strands for today. Let me make this bigger so you can see it. Make myself a little smaller as well. Okay, let's play the frickin' game. Hitchcock Festival. I have no clue what that means. Film. Film feels like it's something. Film festival. Film tin. Film tints. Tint in general. Okay. What about tune? Tune. No. I was trying to spell tilt, but that was not helping. I don't know what this means. I don't know what a Hitchcock is. I wonder if it's like an actual festival or if Hitchcock means something. But film feels like it's something. But I guess not, if I'm not finding anything. Film TV. Okay, I need to move on. Life. Life bore. Bore. Lifeboat? Oh. Okay, sure. Lifeboat. Roots? Roots? Lifeboat. That's so random. Why is a Z in here feels very random as well? Like, what's a Z doing here? Possess. I would say zigzag, but there's no other Z. Tire? Po-tire. Love is a word here as well. I feel like love might be something. Sour? Sauerkraut. Soury. Bro, what? Loon. Holy. If it's not film something, it might be something film. Like, maybe it's like, maybe it's love something film? I was thinking like lovers film, but there's no R. But the R and the S are too far away. I don't know. Lifeboat is so random. Lifeboat. Sire. At least I'm not feeling the pressure of Alex. For those who weren't here last stream, I was doing competition against Alex. But I have no clue. Like, what could this even begin to mean? Hitchcock Festival? I don't know. I might have to use a hint, unfortunately. I think today's a hints kind of day. Rope? What? That made me... What? Like something to do with a beach? Like a lifeboat and a rope? Like a pool? There's 2 O's and an L. No P though. P's over here. Spit. I'm doing another hint. I can't do this. I need to go. I don't even know what topaz is. What even does that mean? I'm getting words today that I don't know for the Wordle and here. Dude, I just want my Chipotle so badly. This is probably like the... Probably the start of the spangram, or the end of it. Probably the end of it, actually, something go. I'm even on the hint. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here so badly. Oh, Psycho. So it definitely is film then. It means it is film. Film? This is probably part of the spangram. Maybe not. Film. Tint. Film. Film. Vertigo. Film vertigo. Well, vertigo is a word. Okay. I don't even know what vertigo means, if I'm being honest. Film. Film not. Film. I have 2 words left, not even that many. So this and something else. Film. No, it's definitely not the T. Film. Noto. Film noto. It's film noto something. I'm almost confident about this. Film notorious. Nocero. What's this then? Tits. Rel tits. Because it's definitely not MLIF. So it's definitely film. I don't want to use a hint. I want to get this because this feels gettable now. Film. It's not tints. Film tints. Tintler. Film Tinsler. Film Tinoots. Film newt. Is newt a word? No. Tune is a word, but it's not the right word. Sour. I already did. It's not even high school sour. Sour. I'm using a hint. I'm done. What in the world? Film title. What is this word? I've used every single combination possible. What is this word? Oh, I need more words. You know what? I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna do boats. Lifeboats. I promise you I did this. Notorious. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Hi, Zev. Zev, you caught me at my worst. Oh, my brightness is also so orange. Oh my god. Zev, you caught me at a moment of weakness. You caught me. I did an APUSH test like an hour ago, and I got freaking a 4. I think ChatGPT might have been nice to me. ChatGPT gave me a 4 without me taking the class first. So, but yeah, no, that was I also did a daily game. I did a daily game competition against a friend from California last week, and I also lost that. So, haven't been doing too hot with the dailies. I saw you came in from your camp. How was that? I saw you posted on your Instagram. Did I like your post? It'd be really embarrassing if I'm talking to you via stream and I haven't liked your post. Hold up. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. What's your Instagram name? Is it just Zev? Oh yeah, it is. I found it. Is that the right Zev? That is the right Zev. Okay, well I liked it now and that makes it all better. Oh, there we go. Okay, I have posted a story as well. Okay, I'm on stream. I'll do this right now. Okay, guys, thanks very much for sticking by. I'm gonna start playing the outro music because I need to go. Chipotle closes in an hour and I want it so badly. Where is it? Alright, y'all. Thanks for sticking by. We're back in the thick of it with academic work. We're not quite at study with me. The school year is not quite started yet. But I know that the kids in California have. The West Coast kids are back in session. So I'm making it more academic. Next week, most likely, I'll be back with another one of these. I think I'm going to do... See, here's the thing. I haven't done the type of exam for AP Lang or APUSH yet. And so I'd have to do a little bit of research on how to even do it. I started with APUSH because it's the same thing as AP World. AP Gov, I know I'm going to fail because I don't know any of the court cases I need. And then AP Lang, I actually don't know what the exam is. I haven't done that research yet. So we'll find out next week. As for now, that's it. And if you're still in summer, enjoy that for summer. Make sure to get your work done. I'm yet to finish my summer reading. I'm getting through it. And if you don't have summer reading, enjoy yourself at that point. I don't know what to tell you. Live your best life. And we'll hope for a good school year. We're starting to get back into it. I have a lot of friends who are, because I have a lot of friends who are in school, we're starting to get around. I'm starting to, like, get back into school vibe. So with that, I'll see you next week for another AP stream. And I'm gonna go get Chipotle. I'm hungry. Go to sleep. It's late. Go do something academic. Or not if it's summer. Go enjoy yourself before school starts. Alright, I'm gonna go get food. Bye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.